All right, welcome. We got another Solar Kings Tuesday on tap. A little bit of a light crowd so far, so we're going to get right to it. Welcome. Missed you guys last week. Appreciate Eric and Gus and the guys stepping in and filling in for me. I hope they brought the fire last week. Hoping to do the same this week. So I'm going to get right into it. So we're going to start out with new recruits. I recognize all the names on the call, so I know we don't have any on the call. I believe Daniel, you just recently joined, right? All right. Well.
Yeah, he has a couple months ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, welcome, man. Welcome. How's it going so far? What are you thinking about Powur so far?
I'm loving everything. Eric and I have had some great things going on, working out some things, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a little tough when I work for the state to do some things during the day, but finding time to make for it and making those risks, taking those risks. Not to hear that guy on the other end, every day's a choice, and you're right, just like the video said.
Absolutely, and luckily, most of what we do can be done pretty much any time of the day. I know I've seen people closing deals, at 8 a.m. I've seen people closing deals at 10 p.m. So, the nice thing is that we're able to do this all remotely and electronically so that we can get it done whenever it's best for us and the customer. So awesome, man. Well, welcome and glad to have you here. We'll get right into it. Some of the recent success stories. Wanted to give a big shout out. I know I don't see him on the call tonight, but I don't blame him because Robbie Tuarte welcomed a new baby to the family this past week. So congratulations, Rob. Many blessings to you and your growing family, man. I hope everyone's doing well. Another big shout out to our very own Eric Garcia. This past weekend, Eric was up at SolarCon in Utah, which is a national solar conference. And he was honored to be one of the guest speakers on a panel focusing on building your business. And so congratulations to him for being a part of that panel and being a part of such a prestigious event. And ultimately, thank you to him for representing the Solar Kings. So congratulations, Eric. Next, Jay Alfaro, he joined the team and closed his first deal same day, second deal the next day, along with Gus. So he's come out of the gate on fire, rock hot, and look forward to seeing Jay do some great things. So congratulations to him for getting off to a fast start. I know, Brian, I saw you were out door knocking. How's it going there today? How's it going door knocking today?
So far, so good. I got one bill and one appointment set for a Wednesday.
Very nice. How are we looking on Mentor? You still got one more?
Yeah, I still got one more.
All right, man. I feel you.
I had two deals on this past Saturday. One on Friday, one Saturday. Got declined. So, yeah.
Did you try with Mosaic?
Yeah, I tried with Mosaic.
Try with all of them? All right. Yeah. Well, keep hustling, man. I know you're going to get that last one and get to the Mentor status here pretty soon. Who else is out working deals this week? Who else got stuff going on? I know, Brandon, I saw you had an install, I believe, this past week, right?
No, I didn't have one, brother. I'm just been training a Florida roofing team. Well, actually, two separate roofing teams in Florida. So I've just been busy with that.
I got you. Jacob Davis says he's got 2 installs this week. Awesome, Jacob. Are you planning to get out to those and be there in person?
Yeah, I'll be at one of them. I'm not sure that I can make the second one, depending upon the timeline.
Gotcha. Well, awesome, man. Congratulations on those. Congratulations on getting moving. I know, it took a little bit to kind of get the ball rolling, but once it starts, it's hard to stop, right?
That's it, bro. Yeah, I got 2 installs this week and 1 next week, so it's happening.
Very nice. When they start to stack up like that, that's when it gets exciting. Javier Garcia, haven't seen you in a little bit, man. What's going on?
Hey, just here, man. I'm busy working, but I'm here. I'm listening, and I can't wait to hear all the good updates and the wins, man. The wins.
Absolutely. Well, I know you're out there winning every day. We love to see all your motivational posts and stuff. So keep it up and keep the fire coming. So appreciate you being part of the call. Who else has got stuff working this week? Anybody else have any other success stories they want to bring to the table?
Recording in progress.
Well, I'll tell you, Sierra and I have had a really busy last week and a half or so. We closed 3 deals last week. We just got another approval this afternoon that we're working on closing, and another one last night. So we've got a lot of stuff in the works, just trying to get a couple of those deals buttoned up. So we're getting into the busy time of the year, guys. So now is the time to fill your pipeline and get things in the works. We're getting to the point in the year where you really need to put a little bit of urgency in your presentations, because as you remember, in order to get the 26% federal tax credit, the system has to be installed by the end of the year. So we're at a point where, with things kind of taking time sometimes, you want to make sure you're giving your customer the proper expectations and setting up the timeline to make sure that you can get that install completed before the end of the year. So make sure you're focusing on that. Make sure you're announcing that as part of your presentations and really putting that sense of urgency in there. So on that note, sense of urgency, important Powur updates. Most of you guys know the Earth Month event, or the Earth Month promo, expires at the end of this month, which, guys, we've got less than a week left. So make sure you are stressing this big time during every one of your presentations this week, and getting that commitment to move forward and close those deals. Paperwork has to be signed by the end of this week in order to qualify. There's a bunch of new online materials that Powur has provided us. Lots of great materials for posting on social media, whether it be your Facebook or Instagram story, or just regular traditional posts. So make sure you go access those materials and utilize them between now and the end of the month to maximize those sales before we close out the month strong. So next thing, this is something that I personally noticed. Powur hasn't made any official announcements on this, but just a heads up, guys, there's a new adder available in Solo that says HVAC. It says HVAC, Good Leap, and cash only. And what I'm taking that to mean is that we can now include a new AC unit in the financing if we're using Good Leap. So this is a huge step. I'm trying to get a little bit more details and information on that for you guys, but just be a heads up that there is a new adder in there for HVAC that looks like we can add a new HVAC system into a proposal and include that in the financing for the customer. Another heads up, price changes coming soon. We already saw some of those last week with all of the changes in panels that they announced. I did notice that we just got another allotment of the REC panels. Those are going to be available in all states except for Florida and Texas, unfortunately. But if you guys are doing deals outside of the state of Texas, good to know that we've got the RECs coming back on the platform. And then finally, next events, we've got a few more Freedom Tour events coming up here pretty soon. Actually, I need to update that. I apologize, guys. Those already happened this past weekend. We do have another event coming up in San Antonio in the very near future. We hope to have a date announced for that pretty soon. So finally, Powur World. So once again, between now and July 15th and 16th, this is going to be a slide on my presentations every single week. This is a huge deal. The Powur World presentation is going to be massive, guys. They're talking about that it's getting close to being sold out. So if you haven't gotten your tickets already, make sure you buy those tickets, reserve those tickets. They're $150 general admission from now through May 31st, as long as they last. If you were a Powur Live member on or before March 18th, they're free with a $99 refundable deposit. So make sure you're reserving your ticket. Plus, they just recently announced the hotels that are out there. They've got great room rates. I believe the hotel room rate's like $109 a night. make sure you get in there and reserve your room so that you don't miss out on that room block as well. If anybody has any questions or has anything else they need to know about Powur World, call me, reach out to any of your mentors and get more info. But guys, they've already hinted that this is going to be a massive event with multiple major announcements occurring during that presentation.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Including some that may or may not be for those that are in attendance only. So big stuff happening. Make sure you get your tickets to Powur World. So with that, anybody have any questions before we get started on a little bit of training tonight? All right, well, I'm going to dive right in. I don't have a whole lot for you guys tonight, but I wanted to cover something that I've been running up against more and more recently. And I actually read an article this morning, or last night, I should say, that kind of solidified what I was seeing in the market. And that is that we are seeing a huge increase in competition in the San Antonio market. And it makes sense because CPS just posted an article talking about how San Antonio is Solar City, Texas. San Antonio right now, guys, is the #1 city in the state of Texas in per capita PV solar. We have almost over 350 megawatts of solar already installed and producing energy in the CPS territory. It's a massive number. That's equal to almost 300 watts per resident of the city of San Antonio. So essentially every single resident has at least one panel almost. That's going to continue to grow, and it's something that at least I've noticed growing in the marketplace. So in addition to that, San Antonio is the #5 city in the US for PV solar. So if you'd asked me, I would have pointed to a bunch of cities in California, maybe some in Arizona, Florida, but never in my right mind would I have guessed that right here in San Antonio was the #5 solar city in the entire country. So, but the crazy thing is, guys, look around, we still have huge opportunities for growth. You know, there are millions and millions or thousands and thousands of homes, hundreds of thousands of homes that don't have solar that need it. So don't look at this as a negative thing. Just understand it and know that there's already a lot of penetration in the marketplace. But the good thing is that also means that there's a growing interest in what we do. With that, comes some major growth, 39% increase since 2020. A lot of that's because of the competition in the market. And that's what I want to talk about tonight is why choose Powur when you've got, hundreds of different solar companies and solar reps out there trying to pitch what, let's be honest, is pretty much the same product. I mean, with minor differences here and there, most of what we offer versus what our competition offers is pretty much the same. Would everyone agree? Does anybody have any disagreement to that? All right, well, silence means that you agree. So what I'm thinking is, at the end of the day, someone's decision to go solar is based off of a couple factors. Number one, did they like you as a rep? Did they see value in your company and what you provided or what you offered them in relation to your competition? And then 3 is pricing. And so all 3 of those factor in, but all 3 of those can become an overcoming of one of the other objections if you do it the right way. So wanted to put together a short list of things that, at least in my opinion, are things that separate Powur from a lot of our competition out there. So number 1 is our 30-year solar Insurer warranty. Most of the competitors out there, guys, are offering the manufacturer warranty on the products, so the panels and the inverters. They're offering a 5 to 10 year labor warranty, and that's pretty much it. And so for us to have a third-party solar insurance-backed product covering the homeowner for 30 years is a huge leg up on the competition. And if you're not including that and really focusing on that as part of your presentation, you're probably losing some of the value that Powur is able to provide. Number two, we have the best finance options in the market. I think every competitor's proposal that I've seen has had some variation of one of the finance options that we already currently offer. I did want to talk a little bit about this though, because I think we all get in the habit of picking our quote unquote favorite finance option, and then we just stick to that finance option. We don't take the time to do the discovery necessary to offer the customer the finance option that's best for that customer. And I'll be honest, I'm personally guilty of this as well. In fact, one of my own neighbors who literally came over to my house to see my solar system signed a contract last week with Freedom because I didn't do a good job asking him the right questions to figure out what his true motivation was as far as financing. I immediately went to what I thought was the best option, which was a 25-year Good Leap 1.98 flex pay. Offered him a super low payment, great deal. It was a good deal for him. But Freedom took the extra time to learn that his objective was to pay this system off as quickly as possible with as low of overall cost as possible. So when I finally got him to send me a copy of the proposal that Freedom gave him, their proposal was pretty much the same as mine. The only difference was they gave him a 12-year 0% loan. And that was my fault for not asking the right questions. And I think we all kind of get caught up in that same trap. So I'm using my experience as kind of a warning to you guys. Make sure you're taking the time to really dive deep, because guys, we've got 4 finance companies. We've got all kinds of different choices, from 5-year low interest rate loans. We've got a 10-year 5.74 with a 0 dealer fee, 12-year 0%, all the way out to now we have as long as 30-year at 1.99%, guys. So we have a million different options as far as financing. It's our job as professionals to take the time to really learn what's going to be best for our customer and present that value to them. So just a little PSA or heads up on that. Make sure you don't overlook the financing aspect of your presentation, because sometimes it can literally mean a deal or not a deal. Now, am I a little frustrated that he didn't call me and say, hey, do you have a 12-year option? Absolutely. But that's my fault for not asking the right questions. So just a heads up, guys, make sure you're asking the right questions and really doing your due diligence during your discovery phase to make sure you're offering the right options for your customer. Well, these came in at the same time. So another thing that I think makes Powur a great choice is that we have options as far as products. A lot of companies out there are coming in and saying, this is the panel we offer, this is the inverter we offer, this is our proposal, period, end of story, that's it. Right now we're a little bit limited on panels, but typically we have at least 2 or 3 options for panels. We also have multiple options as far as inverters. Make sure you know what you're doing with those inverters. With the IQ7s recently being pulled off the platform, my immediate inclination was to move to the IQ8s, but then I was struggling to get under the $4 a watt for CPS. And so what I realized is I need to start using SolarEdge, which includes the optimizers, to reduce that cost to where I can get it to where it's cost effective for my customers. So make sure you're familiar with all of our product options, you know the difference, and you're spending the time to talk to your customer about those. Next is our pricing transparency and flexibility. So one of the huge things, guys, with our cost of goods model, we as consultants have the ability to be as competitive or non-competitive as we want to be. And so something that I'm seeing out there, there's very heavy competition and price competition out there. And so we need to understand that when we're competing with other people, we need to make sure that we're staying in that competitive range and creating value in the products that we're offering, so that even if we're not necessarily the cheapest on the deal were close enough that the value add is worth that difference. And then another key thing that I've seen, I've gotten a handful, a number of proposals from other solar companies out there that various customers have shown me, and very, very few of them, guys, include an actual design illustration of what our proposed design is for their home. Most of the ones that I've seen just say, we're going to put 20 panels on your roof. They're Mission Solar 415s. We're using Enphase IQ7 microinverters, and that's it. And the customer's kind of left in the dark. In fact, that same neighbor that I just talked about earlier texted me yesterday to tell me that he was already starting to get frustrated with his decision to go with Freedom, because when he got the proposal for the design on his roof, it was awful. They had panels scattered everywhere. There was no real design or consistency to it. And my design had all of the panels on the southwest side of the roof. It was very simple, very straightforward, and looked good. So now he's gotten into a fight with them because he didn't even know what the system was going to look like ahead of time. So is this going to be a deal breaker for most customers? No, but it's something that I'm pointing out to customers, particularly when I know they're shopping, is, hey, make sure that they show you what they plan to do on your roof. Because at the end of the day, guys, panel direction, the azimuth, the angle of the panels on the roof, those all matter when it comes to the estimated production of the system. So if they're not showing you that, Mr. Customer, how can they guarantee the estimated production on the system? They can't, right? So just another thing to stress or kind of point out is just the overall transparency with which we present our proposals to our customers. So Gil, you're asking in there, will my neighbor come back to me? He was asking about what it would cost to get out of that Freedom contract. I told him I wasn't 100% sure, but if they hadn't completed the final design and submitted for permitting, he may have a case to get out of that and pay, minimal cancellation fee. I know, we typically charge, pretty minor fee as long as the permitting hasn't been paid for yet. So still working on that, hoping I can reel him back in, but appreciate you asking on that. And then lastly, guys, and I think this is probably the most important one, we as consultants need to be selling ourselves, not only as the trusted advisor, but as the one that's going to be there to stand with them through this entire process. And that's really important. Something that I've really been trying to stress during my recent presentations is the fact that, look, Mr. Customer, I am not here to sell you anything. I am here to help you learn, to answer any questions you might have about an alternative way to provide energy to your home that gives you additional value on your home and ultimately pays you back in the long run. And I want to be here through that entire process. My job is to be your first line of defense against any kind of complaints, concerns, or issues that you may have as things come up through this process. Most of this is going to be very simple and straightforward, but on occasion, we do have little bumps in the road. I want to be here for you, and I want to be that trusted advisor to make sure that your questions are met with the proper answers in a timely fashion, and I'm giving you the best value I possibly can. So the biggest thing that can differentiate us from the competitors is us as salespeople and as representatives. So just wanted to really kind of re-stress that. Make sure you're stressing that with your customers. Know when you're walking into a situation where you're going to have competition. I know, recently C-Ray and I have been working with a couple of lead generators who are on the platform who are using us as mentors on deals, but every one of those deals has 3 to 5 competition quotes involved. So we're walking into those going on more of a volume-based pricing than we would if it was a different lead source. So know where your leads are coming from and do what you need to do to be as competitive as possible in what is already a hugely competitive market. So that's really all I got, guys. I didn't have a whole lot for you tonight. That's just something that I've been running into quite a bit recently. So I felt like it was a good thing to just kind of review. I'd like to open the floor because I think we've got a couple guys on the call that have some experience in this scenario, and I'd love to see what your thoughts are on how you overcome dealing with situations with competing quotes. So Rob, I see you just turn your camera on. What you got, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I think you hit a lot of key points, man. The competition's getting stiffer. I'm noticing it, in Dallas, San Antonio, where when I do have somebody that wants a proposal, like you said, there's 3, maybe up to 5 people that they've done business with or got proposals from. And to your point, yeah, a lot of times I ask for a copy of the proposal and it might be written on a napkin or a piece of paper, which to me doesn't make any sense as a homeowner. Why would you even consider that option? Compared to what we offer. But I think it goes down to when you're doing your discovery calls and having those early conversations to really ask a lot of those questions, like how long have you been looking into solar? Have you got any other, proposals yet? What did you think about them? Me and Tony G over here in Dallas were talking yesterday about asking the tough questions, right? Like when you're in those discoveries call, and the tough question is, why haven't you made the decision to buy yet? What's holding you back? And a lot of times that'll give you the answer right there. Oh, the price wasn't in line. I didn't like the design. We're worried about the roof. So that question alone can be added to a discovery call, and that'll help you uncover a lot of things. So when you're doing your proposal, you already kind of have that, in the back of your mind and back of your pocket. So if you need to adjust your margins to get more competitive, you definitely can do that. Or add more value with different promos and things like that. So I think making a list of questions for your discovery call is key, and then just having those ready when you're doing these calls, because that's what's going to give you the intel. So when you have that proposal ready, you've already drilled that down and you can answer that question and just tie it back to, I know you had concerns about pricing. Does this pricing, meet your expectations? I know you had a concern about the roofing situation. Let me talk to you about our 30-year warranty. I want to highlight that particularly for your situation. So I think the discovery call is it's always been crucial, but I think it's more important now, more now than ever compared to the past because of the stiff competition. So that's my 2 cents. And that's something I'm working on to make sure that I'm really taking time, because I usually say 15 minutes for a discovery call. I might be pushing that to 30 minutes to really figure out why these people haven't purchased, or definitely set us apart if we're having to deal with some more competition.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I think, I've found that here recently, I'm spending probably 80 to 90% of the time that I'm visiting with a homeowner, particularly if it's an in-person visit, in discovery. And then it's the last 10 or 20% that I'm flipping over and actually going over the proposal and talking numbers. Really spending a lot more time in the front end, learning what potential objections I'm going to run into on the back end. And so, yeah, definitely spend more time asking questions. That's sales 101, guys. Ask a question and let them turn loose on an answer. We should be listening more than we're talking. So agree wholeheartedly with that. Who else has got stuff?
Hey, Houston, Tim here.
Tim, what's up, man?
Hey, brother. I just wanted to share kind of a learning experience, kind of along the same basis with your neighbor. I closed a little deal yesterday. Luckily, I brought up that we have a lot of financing options. And the lady, she's an older lady, probably in her 60s. And she was like, nope, I don't want to finance it more than 12 years. That's as long as I'm willing to. Okay. So I didn't even bother showing her anything over 12 years. But the second learning experience with that is her house is titled in a living trust. The only company or financing option available to a living trust is Goodleap. So they require that the son, who the the living trust's name is under be the co-signer. Luckily, he was willing to be a co-borrower on there, right? But something to add to your discovery call is just verify that the title of the house or the house is under the person's name that you're. It's kind of basics, right? But I skipped that process, so just something to add in there for people to be aware of or think about.
Yep. And one thing on that, Tim, and just something so you're aware that I've gotten in the habit of doing before every call. So particularly if it's a lead I got from like a mentee or something like that, the first thing I do is I pull up the county tax assessor website and I look up the address. Because right then and there you can do exactly what you're talking about. You can verify what name is on the title and make sure that the person you're talking to is somebody who can actually make the decision to purchase. So good tip on that. Who else has got tips or tricks? Anything that they're doing in particular when they know they're competing with someone else? Brandon, you there?
What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? Hey, what are your thoughts, or what's your biggest tip, if you will, of how you handle a scenario where you know you're competing with maybe 2 or 3 other solar companies on a deal? How do you typically address that?
I mean, honestly, one of the biggest things that's helped me is really just understanding the homeowner situation and using questions to my advantage of their situation to not only unravel them, but also use that to my advantage to turn it around and give them exactly what they're looking for, So I really think questioning and not just rushing in to give numbers. I mean, of course you have those people that just want the numbers, but I mean, for the most part, I think to differentiate yourself, you really just got to take an interest in their situation and make them feel like you really care about what they have going on, and you actually have a solution that fits that. Not just, oh, I have these products, and just bombarding them with so much information and vomiting all over them with product details. And I mean, you have those analytical people, like I said, that do like that type of stuff. But for the most part, I really feel like questioning has helped me differentiate myself.
Yep. I think that seems to be a common theme, is just taking the extra time to show a customer that you truly care, not only about them, but about your job as well. In the offering that you're going to choose, you're taking the time to really choose that specific to them. I think we all kind of get in a rush every now and again and just start, okay, well, hey, I got a proposal for you. Here you go, boom. And they're going, wait, what? Huh? Timeout? What is this? I don't want to term that long. I don't like those panels, blah, blah, blah. So 100%. I think everyone's pretty much said the same thing so far. Does anybody have any other tips or tricks that they're using to combat the competition, other than obviously the questioning aspect? Well, that's settled it. I think we all just need to get better at asking the right questions, asking follow-up questions. So, when you ask an initial question and get an answer, it's usually a pretty short answer, right? So asking that follow-up question and really digging into the why behind that initial answer is ultimately what's going to get you to the truth and what's truly the right scenario for that individual customer. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I'm going to leave it with that. Just make sure that you're taking the time to do that deep dive discovery questioning. Talk to your customers, develop rapport. They don't all have to be questions about solar. Take a little time, look around the house. That if you're in person, look around the house, comment on something that you notice, whether it's a sports memorabilia flag that they've got hanging on the wall, or their kids' toys on the floor, something that helps you connect on a deeper level other than just, hey, I'm a solar guy that's here to sell you something. That's what's going to make the difference. That's what's going to turn you into the trusted advisor and the one who truly cares and is bringing the best interest of the customer to the forefront. So that's all I've got for you guys tonight. Does anybody have any? Oh, Rob has a great idea. He says next week, let's have a role play on a discovery call. I love that idea, Rob. I think that's definitely something we can work on. You volunteering to be the consultant in that scenario?
I can be a consultant and I can be a customer. I think it'd be good to have
Awesome.
a couple people, jump in and do it. From my experience, the best way to kind of learn it and drill it in is by practicing it. So I'll be more than happy to, be a consultant, and then anybody that wants to role play along afterwards, I can be a customer too. So, and I'll make sure
Awesome.
to have a good list of questions and things like that. I think it's good for people to see it and hear it, and more importantly, just get us practiced up.
Amen, man. I love that idea. I think I'll reach out to you and maybe a couple others on the team that we can put something together. Maybe, take 5 or 10 minutes each and just go through some initial discovery questions and give the team an opportunity to kind of see different strategies, different approaches, and get a list of questions that we can all take and use as ammo to make us better. And so I love that idea. I'm going to work on putting that together. With that, guys, I appreciate you guys taking the time and joining us tonight. I'm going to give you about 20 minutes of your time back. So get out there, close the month strong, get at least 1 or 2 more of those Earth Month deals done before it's too late. And let's go sell some solar. So have a great week, guys. We'll see you.